And our next guests are two people who unfortunately have endured tragedy because of the opioid epidemic. Deric and Kathy Kidd lost their 17-year-old son, Sebastian, to an overdose in 2021. He died after taking half a pill that he thought was the painkiller Percocet, but it was actually a counterfeit pill laced with fentanyl. And since his death, Deric and Kathy have been focused on creating awareness of just how urgent the fentanyl crisis is in the U.S., working to prevent the tragedy that hit their family from happening to anyone else. And Deric and Kathy Kidd are joining us now. Thank you so much for making the time, and I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
How are you both doing since your son Sebastian passed?
It doesn't really get any easier. You learn how to manage that loss and how to cope with it, but we miss him. We miss him dearly.
Kathy, can you share more with us about what happened to Sebastian? Do you know where he got that pill?
From what we understand, it was a pill that he obtained off of Snapchat. And it literally was half of a Percocet. Unfortunately, like you stated, it contained fentanyl.
And Deric, you and your wife were in the audience during the recent State of the Union address. President Biden mentioned fentanyl twice during the address, mainly referencing the bipartisan border deal that is yet to be passed. Let's listen to those comments together.
100 more high-tech drug detection machines to significantly increase the ability to screen and stop vehicles smuggling fentanyl into America. That's killing thousands of children. This bill would save lives.
Deric, what is your reaction to the president's comments, and how should the fentanyl trafficking issue be fought if the border bill does not pass?
Well, first, I think that's all political. He's had 3 years to take some action, and I haven't seen anything significant done yet. So he himself doesn't understand the problem or doesn't want to address it. And I think that, as far as taking care of addressing the border, that's one step. We definitely need to stop the flow or lessen the flow of what's coming across, but there are a lot of other things that need to be done. But first and foremost, if he's here to protect our citizens, and he's not doing it.
Deric, if you could give a message directly to President Biden in his remaining months in office, depending on what happens in November, what would you say to him?
Do your job. Do your job and protect this country. Too many people are dying, so do your job.
Yeah. Kathy, what would you like to see done to tackle the fentanyl crisis in this country?
A plan would be great. Talk is one thing, but unless there's an actual plan that has got some timetables on it, so us, like tens of other thousands of families that have lost people to fentanyl, can see some hope, it's just talk.
And Deric, what do you think needs to happen south of the border? Because we're also tracking this news that President Obrador saying just yesterday he will not be fighting Mexican drug cartels on U.S. orders. He says we are not going to act as policemen for any foreign government. Any reaction to that?
No, that to me was disturbing. If they're not working with us, then I guess they're working against us. So we need to do whatever we can here on our side of the border to take care of things.
And I know, both of you were in the audience during that State of the Union. Did you walk away with the sense that there was a plan going forward, that there was hope on the horizon for this crisis that is impacting every single American community at this point?
Absolutely none. It was gut-wrenching. I was hoping for a glimmer of hope with that speech. And again, to me, the speech was nothing more than political. It was a campaign speech. It wasn't a speech to unite the country. And it certainly didn't do that.
I know that you mentioned a plan. What would the first step be in that plan to tackle this issue?
Well, I think first and foremost, we have to acknowledge the problem. If we don't acknowledge the problem, then we can't tackle it. And it extends far beyond just a drug issue. We have a mental health crisis in this country. That's the reason they're taking the drugs in the first place. So we have to address things as a whole and then break it apart from there and try and tackle each piece, bit by bit. But first and foremost, again, let's admit there's a problem and go after it from there.
Yeah, I'm glad that we are spotlighting and that we're speaking with you tonight. Kathy, before we go, I just want to ask, what do you want us to know about your son?
He was our world, just like any other child is a parent's world. the thing that I want to convey to other parents is, what we, like tens of other family members, don't get to have out there is, we don't get first with Sebastian anymore. We have memories. We don't get to hear about the first new day on the job. We don't get to start new traditions with him. So just to relate it to so many other people that maybe haven't gone through that, think about it. Think about losing your child and not being able to have those firsts again, but to literally only have memories.
Yeah, it's incredibly powerful. And again, I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for the work that you continue to do with the nonprofit and for speaking with us tonight. Deric and Kathy Kidd, appreciate you and your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.